Hi, this is Anthony from Maestro Music Centers in East Meadow, Long Island. And I'd like to talk to you today about building a registration. How, when you're using the instrument, you can kind of make the orchestra part or the backgrounds increase as you go through it. I'm on an AT-90SL, a little bit of an older model, but this will work great on any of the new stuff, Lowrey and the new Rolands. The difference from the new Rolands from the old ones is that the style orchestrators are now called arrangers. But they do the same thing. In the variation part, it'll say variation 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be using the style orchestrator on this model, but that would be that same way. On a Lowrey, you have a basic button and an Orchestra Plus button, and on the models with screens, you can go into the Orchestra Plus section and turn off or turn on components of the pattern. As a matter of fact, even some of the registrations, the setups, will alter the sound for you. On the new Lowreys, if you use those pianist and guitarist rhythms, they're really good because they'll give you this concept and you could just use the presets and it'll build slowly as you go through it. But here I'm going to do, what am I using today? I have an acoustic rumba, okay? And I'm gonna start with the most basic format of the pattern. In this generation, our patterns had 4 original orchestrations and 4 variation orchestrations. So I will try and use 8 of them for you so you can kind of get an idea of how that works. One of the really neat things you can do on these is, if you don't want a long intro, you can actually just press the button on these that say to original, and when you sync your chord, it'll do a little introduction instead of the longer introduction pattern that may list. So if I press to original now and I play my first chord, you'll get a short intro. And I'm in. Now, it's just marimba and a bass, right? And I have one guitar. It's a requinto guitar. Now I'm going to raise to advanced. Drums came in. Hear them? Advanced 2, little more drum. Full strings. I'm going to go back, but I'm going to actually pull my orchestrator back. I'm not going to go to bass, I'm going to go to advanced 1 and then fill to variation. Now the guitar is strumming, right? Instead of a marimba. I'm going to play in the bottom. I have a mariachi trumpet. It's kind of nice. I picked 2 sounds. I didn't even change or add anything to the sound. I had nothing on in the left hand, absolutely, other than the orchestration. So the benefit for you in not using a sound on the lower keyboard is that the band is a little bit more lifelike. I mean, there's tons of stuff we could put down there, It can hold, it can not hold. You know, we can kind of play the chords and have the pianos and stuff follow what we do. But sometimes, I learned this from my teachers many years ago, less is more. And we have a lot of stuff that we could use, but you shouldn't necessarily always use that stuff. This is in a little Spanish town, so I'm trying to give it the feeling of one lone guitarist and one lone trumpet player, and whoever's backing them up in the band. It almost felt like we were inside of a little very small Latin group, which is really nice. So use those registrations, build it in the song, keep going forward. If you're on a Lowrey, keep adding a part of your orchestration plus back in. Start with maybe just the basic part, and then add in orchestration 1 and then 2. You just basically touch the screen and turn them on as you go through. On the new Platinum models and on the 900s that have the updated expansion packs, you actually in your if you go over to your mixer, the top of the screen has a little green arrow that points to the right. If you touch that, that will also allow you to modify the parts of the background, the instruments that are playing in the background. You can take the volume levels up and down. It requires a little bit of experimentation because it doesn't tell you exactly what the sound is. The Lowrey one will tell you that. But it works very effectively if you want to create more than just the 4 that are there. So in some ways, yeah, this was easy to do, but I didn't have much control over what it was. It gave me what it gave me. On the new models, you can really be very specific and say, you know what, I don't want the guitar. I only want the piano part of that background. Or I want to get rid of the brass entirely if you can. So play. It's snowing a lot up here in the Northeast. So if you're in a snowy part of the country, which seems like a lot of places, it's very cold today, and I think it's very cold in a lot of places as well. It's a great indoor hobby. Play your instrument, okay? Get your fingers moving. It's good for you. Have a great week.